Hello.
Hello, governor.
I'm not a governor.
Hello, old chap.
I am a chap.
Yes, okay. Well, we're chaps together. Welcome back to My Disney Addiction podcast with your hosts, Greg, the Disney detective, and...
Your number one ghost host, Chris.
That's right, we're back at it.
Again. Oh my gosh, we're doing it again.
We're doing it yet again, but it never gets old. And I'm really excited about what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. Do you know what we're talking about, Chris? Actually, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but this is going to be a little bit of like a game here, all right?
Okay.
So...
Uh-oh.
Gotta get this off. Hold on one quick second. Oh.
Ah, jeez.
Okay, so what am I wearing? What is this?
Hat.
What's it? Another word for this?
Brim.
It is a...
Baseball hat. Cap.
And then... How many?
10.
10. Okay, so...
Cap. 10.
And then...
Shirt.
I know you know what I'm trying to get at here. And all the viewers are screaming at their screens.
Captain.
10. America. That's right, we're talking. It's a circle with the star and some colors.
Right.
Well, yes, so without further ado, we're talking about Captain America in today's episode.
America. Captain
America.
My mother-in-law hates it when people say America.
America.
So, if she's watching, I swear I'm not trying to America, just to annoy America. And if America. All right, now that I got that out of the way, we're talking about Captain America, people. Holy cow.
That's
we
right.
got Steve Rogers.
Ooh, good old
AKA
Steve Rogers.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the name of the actor. So you're not wrong there.
I'm not wrong. I'm correct.
Very correct. He also played Johnny Storm, who was another Marvel superhero.
Meta.
Right?
A little weird.
Right? But honestly, though, you may throw tomatoes at me, if you will, but I do prefer Chris Evans's portrayal of Johnny Storm over his Captain America. America. Okay, folks, Chris is, I don't know, he's boiling right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I am in fear for my life right now. I should have brought a human shield. I have not. I was not expecting this to happen. Actually, I sort of was.
You what?
This happens like twice every episode.
What?
Yeah, I do. I really think Chris Evans does a good job at that, like, smart-ass, punk, sort of up to no good, like, younger brother character. I think he really does a good job at acting like that. I don't know. I'm not saying he's like that in real life because I don't know the guy, but he does a really good job in that role. Granted, he's great as Captain America, but I think he's better at Johnny Storm.
People. Help me here. I'm trying very valiantly to stay calm.
I can tell that by your pose right now. It's like you're fighting against every grain in your body. I can tell you got the tight lips. You're exhaling quite a bit.
Why?
Oh,
Okay, just forget it. Just forget it.
It just is. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But this movie, this episode is not about Johnny Storm and how well that Fantastic Four movie is.
Or not so well.
Is great.
No.
Yes. Out of the 3 that have been made in the past, 15 years, that one's the best.
So what I'm trying to get at now...
Diverge.
We're going to be talking about Captain America. It's going to be super fun.
Yes.
So we did just wrap up last week talking about Iron Man Dos. And so we're going to continue on with Captain America here. I actually just watched this last night, which was really nice. I haven't seen that one in a while, to be honest with you.
With you rewatching it, did you enjoy it more compared to the other times, or did you like notice new things?
I don't know about noticed new things.
Or appreciated them more in a certain light?
Kinda. I mean,
now that you're older, wiser.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
So, Greg.
Chris.
Do you have a lineup of said characters and the actors who play them?
Of course I do. It's all pure monoggin.
All right.
We have Chris Evans as Steve Rogers.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was very difficult of you.
Right. We don't have Nick Fury. We have his stand-in, just because, of course, the Captain America is set in the 40s.
It is.
During World War II. So we have the Tommy Lee Jones character. I forget his name. He's General...
I can't remember.
He's a general. You have Agent Carter, a.k.a. Peggy Carter. I forget who is played by her. So...
you're not helping out so much.
No, I'm not. And then you have Red Skull. That's played by another dude. He has very high cheekbones.
Mr. Anderson.
What's that from?
So you laughed and you didn't even know what it was from?
No. Where's that from, seriously? The glasses come off yet again. This is a record. How quickly I could get Chris to take his glasses off twice. It's already like what? Not even 10 minutes into this episode. So anyway, yeah, I'm intrigued now. This Mr. Anderson quote.
The Matrix.
It's coming back to me. Yes. Okay. I've seen the movie. I just forgot that his name was Mr. Anderson.
No.
See,
no.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
He's Agent Smith.
Okay, then who's Anderson? Is that Keanu?
That's Keanu Reeves.
Okay, gotcha. Isn't he Neo?
Yes, but he refers to him as Mr. Anderson because his last name is Anderson.
Neo Anderson?
No. He goes by the alias of Neo because he is a cyber, essentially hacker and comes up with programming for people.
Okay, so he's Neo.
So his alias is Neo.
Gotcha. But he's Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. I understand now. That was a good reference. I really appreciate it now.
Okay, thank you.
Now I got it and I can laugh purposefully.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And then you have that German scientist who has the big forehead and glasses. I don't know his name. Yeah, sorry.
We're not starting off so well.
No. It's a little bit rough. Again.
Okay, so why don't you do me a favor?
Yeah. What's up?
Why don't you go ahead and look that up while I kind of go through some stuff.
Okay.
So.
Oh wait, I think I subliminally meant to not look up these names before the episode because I wanted to show off my phone case, Chris. That's right. Look at that. How fitting is that? And for those who are listening to our podcast instead of viewing it on YouTube, I have a Captain America phone case. An OtterBox, nonetheless.
There you go.
Going in style, folks. This phone is not getting blown up or cracked or submersed in water.
There you go.
Anytime soon. Okay, sorry, you may continue.
Now that we got that cleared up, thankfully. So, this is an interesting superhero movie because it takes us back to I think it starts off in 1942 or 1943.
Let me confirm that with you.
Can't really remember, but essentially it starts off with okay, you got the list. Go ahead.
Got the list. Yeah. So, like I said, Chris Evans is Captain America. Haley Atwell, that's her name. Peggy Carter, she plays. How can I forget Bucky. Played by Sebastian Stan.
Yep.
Or Stan, if you guys want to go that way. Tommy Lee Jones is in fact in this movie, but he's not a general. He's a colonel, and his name is Colonel. What is this? Oh, I went straight to Tommy Lee Jones actually. Yeah, he plays a colonel. I can't read his last name off of there. Hugo Weaving, he's Mr. Smith or Agent Smith in the Matrix, but he plays Red Skull. And then you have young Howard Stark, and he is played by none other than Dominic Edward Cooper.
There you go.
There you go. That's the main cast.
So, kind of starts off with Red Hood. Red Hood is DC's Dick Grayson,
right? Jason Todd.
Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson was the first one.
Okay.
Jason Todd was second. Yeah,
Grayson. Tim Drake. He was the second, right?
But Dick Grayson was...
He was the first.
And he became... Nightwing, and then...
Tim Drake? I think Jason Todd was the one that became Red Hood.
I think so.
Yes. So again, this is Marvel. Well, it's DC, but we're talking about Marvel.
Yeah.
Sorry for that side tangent.
Red Skull essentially goes to this, I don't know if you want to call it like a monastery or this sanctuary, and he's trying to find this Tesseract. He's trying to find the Tesseract people, and kills one of the priests there. Well, kills everybody there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And he eventually takes the Tesseract. That's pretty much the opening.
Yeah, so bad guy has this mysterious object that apparently he values over life itself. So
nobody knows what's going on yet. And so then we move into this weird, skinny, tiny, young guy.
Yeah, young guy.
Trying to he's essentially at the physical exam, or not even the exam. It's like a physical
for the army, right?
To be enlisted into the army.
Yep.
And so he was volunteering, and they were like, "No, we can't take you." They're like, "You're too small." And they even said, they're like, "Hey," the guy who was recruiting was like, "Hey, we're helping you out, buddy." He's like, "You got asthma. You don't qualify really anyways." And so.
But he had that American spirit. He wanted to fight for his country.
He did. And so let's talk about Chris Evans as that tiny, puny, little skinny thing.
That was impressive how they did that in terms of CGI.
That's what I was going to ask. How do you think they did with that? I think, honestly, they did a very good job. I mean, we're, what, now, like 8-9 years removed?
Yeah.
So 9 years removed, and when that movie came out, I mean, that looked great. I mean, even to this day, it still looks really good.
I think it holds up.
I mean, we can tell where it was faked.
Yeah.
Anybody can, even back then. Obviously, it's his head.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, Chris Evans went complete Christian Bale in The Mechanic and just like...
Oh my gosh, dude.
Lost all muscle and fat mass and decided to, shrink maybe a foot. So...
That's not possible.
Yeah, like, going in, we knew that this was a definite body double that they then,
Because isn't Chris Evans like 6'2" or 6'3"?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's definitely in the low to mid sixes for sure.
Yeah. I know he's not as tall as Chris Hemsworth, and he's like
6'4".
Yeah, he's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, but Chris Evans is definitely a tall chap.
Yeah, he's
tall. Chap.
I mean, I was gonna say he's taller than me, but that's not saying much. And anybody's taller than me. In case you guys want to know, Chris, how tall are you? Well, I'm 4 feet tall. That's a joke. I'm not 4 feet.
He's over exaggerating. He's actually 3.5.
3.5. Yeah. What can I say? I'm actually sitting on multiple phone books, which. That's not true because nobody uses phone books anymore.
Yeah, they don't make them anymore. It's an eco hazard.
Yeah, I'm sitting on a cinder block.
There you go.
Yep. No, but seriously though, I'm like 5'6".
And I'm not that much taller. I'm probably 5'8.5" on a good day. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a not so good day, like 5'3" because I slouched so much. Oh my gosh, you guys, let me tell you something. You guys should see me at work. Sometimes when I'm at work, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm just like...
I know, I see him. If he's not standing up, walking around, talking on his... Oh, God. Here you go. You good?
See, Captain America would not have that problem.
No, but it's okay, though. You survived.
Yeah. But like, I slouch when I'm at work. So.
And I've caught myself doing just that as well. That's why I ordered a stand-up desk.
Yeah, I have a stand-up desk.
It's great.
Dude, I told you to get a stand-up desk like months and months, almost a year ago.
I know.
Not almost a year ago, like 6 months ago.
It was a while ago. I finally pulled the trigger, and I ordered it like 2 months ago. It finally just arrived, and I'm over the moon. It's awesome.
It's great. It's well worth it.
Yes. Back on track. What are we talking about?
So I think Chris Evans is like the portrayal of Steve Rogers. I think was very good. He reminds me of that kind of guy. Like, you know, it's definitely that you give the guy his credit for his heart. You know,
A for effort.
You know, it's not even A for effort because he didn't get the chance to make the effort.
Yeah, I guess.
Right. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, hey man, I understand where you're coming from. I get why you're trying to do this. And I applaud you for it. It's just you're not physically capable.
Right, but he has the character. He's in
you have the heart. You have the heart and the passion,
character.
and that's definitely admirable and praiseworthy. But it's like you can't do it. And then so he gets essentially denied from being into the military, and he's like a gung ho patriot, which, you know. Anybody who knows Disney, you know, Walt himself was very much a patriot.
Yes. Same
thing with Roy. Both of them were. Roy served in the Navy for a long time. Not for a long time. He served for I think it was 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, I mean, Walt, he wanted to try to get in to the military as much as he could. And little known fact, not little known, very well known fact, actually, I mean, to tell you how much Walt wanted to get into the military. His dad, Elias Disney, did not want him to go into the military. I mean, his sons were in the military and all that stuff, and he didn't want to see his youngest boy go. So he was like, no, I'm not having it. And so Walt was trying to convince his mom. He eventually kind of convinced his mom to do it. But here's the problem. He was underage.
Ooh.
He couldn't serve. So...
doctored some documents, right?
What essentially happened was his mother filled out the paperwork, and then she knew what he was going to do, so she walked away, essentially knowing what was going to happen.
Oh, wow.
And he switched the 1901, to a 0.
Oh.
And so that's how he became 18, and he ended up being able to serve in the Red Cross.
Which took him to France, right?
Yep, took him to France.
Very nice.
So, but it's definitely like that same kind of idea of for Walt, he wanted to serve his country. Same thing for Roy. And they both did things Roy not so much. Roy was older, but definitely for Walt, he really loved his country. He really wanted to serve. And you get that same sense here with Steve Rogers. Even though he's not capable, has that passion to want to be there and serve his country, which is great, all that. So I think they did a really good job of having that weird it's kind of like a shadow that was over him this whole time, because his best friend Bucky, you see the first time you see him in the movie, he's in his full military gear,
right? Yeah,
well, not gear, but his uniform, you know, and essentially saves him from being beaten up by somebody.
That's right, yeah.
Because Steve Rogers was trying to watch a movie, and during it was like a patriotic commercial, hey, come join the army, you know, all this stuff. And the guy in the movie theaters, you know, oh, come on, I want to see the movie. Come on, I want to see the movie.
As very realistic.
Yeah, it sounded nothing like that. But, you know, essentially was being an annoying guy in a movie theater. And Steve Rogers, little wimpy kid, said, "Hey, can you just shut up there? We're trying to watch this." Gets into a little scruffle. Obviously, Steve Rogers, tiny little guy, not happening. And so Bucky steps in, kind of helps him out. And so you get this idea of he's surrounded by people who are bigger than him, doing what he can't do. And so you feel bad for him.
Yeah, because he clearly, like you said, has the heart of a much bigger guy, of a person who wants to do so much good, but unfortunately his physical attributes can't really catch up to the level that his heart wants. So
that's kind of rough. And then Bucky and him kind of go on a double date.
Yeah.
So they go and do that, which at that double date they're at an expo, which happens to have
Peggy.
No.
Psych.
Do you know what about? You know who? Did you do the homework?
No. I don't know. I'm lost. Help me out here, Chris. Help me.
You knew we were gonna watch. We were talking about Captain America, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Did you do the homework?
Yes, I have it right here. I have the cast.
For those who watched the movie, at the double date at an expo.
Oh, Stark.
Thank you.
Stark. Howard Stark. That's right. The light came on top of my head.
I knew we would get there.
Bing. Yes, that's right.
Howard Stark was there, and he was showing off the new way of the future. And essentially, it was a hover car that hovered for 5 seconds and then came.
But still, though, that was radical technology.
It was still really cool. Eventually, I think Steve Rogers had to go to the bathroom or something like that. And there was this kind of, one of those weird, cutout things that kids can put their head in and take a picture. And
yeah.
It was kind of like that. And Steve Rogers stepped up, and it was a guy in the full military suit, come join the military. And so, Steve Rogers was kind of upset and bummed about that. So that's kind of what's going on that end of the world. And on the other end of the world,
got Red Skull.
You got Red Skull, who's working with the Third Reich to, build these weapons. Unbeknownst to the officials of the Third Reich and the Fuhrer, they have no idea that Red Skull is trying to weaponize the Tesseract to destroy all of humanity. And
tall order, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And at one point, I probably get my timeline mixed up here in the movie, so I'm sorry about that. I've been watching so many Marvel movies that kind of get my brain kind of split up here. But eventually, in the movie, I think it was right around this time too, but three Nazi soldiers. I think one's a regular soldier, another one's essentially military guys, come and to check on the progress of what's going on. And Red Skull is oh well, because of this Tesseract, we have the power of the gods and all this stuff, and they think he's just blowing smoke, and they're you're supposed to be helping the Fuhrer. The Fuhrer is getting kind of upset, he wants his results and all this stuff. And then one of the soldiers, the pretty much the lowest of them, the lowest of the three in ranking, is looking at the map that Red Skull has, and on that map are cities that he's going to destroy with this weapon, and one of them is Berlin. And so that did not go too well.
Yeah, I think that would go the opposite of well, especially with who he was talking to.
Yep. So he ended up using Red Skull ended up using the weapons, and he pretty much disintegrated them.
Whew.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That would be a way to go.
I know. I mean, I think it would have happened so quickly that they wouldn't even really feel it. Maybe just unbearable pain and then poof, nothing, or you don't know what hit you, and then before you know it, you're just
don't want to find out.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, and I don't think we ever will, because the Tesseract isn't real. Sorry to break that bubble.
Okay, so we get that, and then eventually we get to the point where the Steve Rogers. I think he's just at a. I don't know if he's at no, he's at another doctor's office trying to pass this physical.
Yep, he's not giving up. That's for sure.
And so the doctor's about to see him, and then a nurse comes in and says,
exactly.
And then they both, and then the nurse and the doctor both leave, which I don't know. It sounded like gibberish, but and then essentially they come out, and then another doctor walks in, and is talking to Steve Rogers. He explains that he's German. He's all this stuff, and asks Steve Rogers, "You want to kill Nazis?" Steve Rogers is like, "What?" And he's like, "Do you want to kill Nazis?" And for a second, I thought we were starting to go Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We like killing some Nazis.
Some Nazis.
Or
Lami.
Yeah.
I got that reference. I got that movie reference.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, good. Okay, I'm 1 for 2.
That's a bingo. Did I say it right? You just say bingo.
Is that from the same movie?
Same movie.
Okay, I must have missed that scene or don't remember it at all.
Okay. So, the doctor is essentially trying to ask him because Steve Rogers has a great heart, but he wants to know, is he getting this doctor who's essentially working on this serum for this super soldier? Mm-hmm. He's asking some leading questions to Steve Rogers because he's like, okay, I got this puny little guy. I got to show that this thing is actually going to work. So I got to find this little runt of a person that nobody takes seriously and, give him this. But he wants to make sure, if I give this super serum to somebody, am I giving it to a freaking lunatic who just likes killing people?
Yeah, are we going to see this guy going AWOL, terrorizing people, and using that not for the greater good of the intended purpose? So, yeah, this is the start of greatness here. Because I do remember one time, after, he passes those questions and he goes into, field training, sort of, and he jumps on the grenade.
We're getting there.
Okay, sorry, but, I really like that scene.
Yeah, you gotta get there.
I know, I'm just too excited for it. So you may continue. You're the master at talking about the story here, so I'll defer to you until that part, and then I'll take them reins right there.
Yep, there are reins.
Reins.
I don't know where these reins are.
Driving the sled, the Captain America sled that we're now on.
Is Cap
visualize it?
Santa?
He's a helper.
So he's an elf?
He keeps America free.
All right. Okay, so as he moves on, they essentially bring him in. Essentially, the doctor gives him the A1 pass. Be like, yeah, this guy's good as gold, which he's not. And so he gets into boot camp and sucks, just flat out can't do anything right. Yeah. He does have some things that other people don't. Like one of the things is there's this flagpole that has a flag on it, and the boot camp officer,
drill sergeant
is saying, hey, this flag hasn't come down in 120 years. First guy who can bring it down to me, which I don't know if it was 120. It was a while. But he's like, the first guy to bring it down to me can take a ride back, on the Jeep with Peggy.
Ooh.
Was it Peggy Carter? Yeah.
Peggy Carter.
And so everybody's like,
they try to climb it to get it down.
Didn't work so well.
Ingenuity, though.
So everybody has to leave, and people are like, oh, I give up. We can't do it. Yeah. And then Steve Rogers walks up, and he's like,
I got this.
He's like, there's a pin. I'll take the pin out. I'll let the pole fall, and then I'll undo the flag. There you go. Which is like, some people are probably thinking, that's not how it works. And then the drill sergeant's like, I didn't say how you had to get it down. So it's one of those, like, it's not what I had in mind, but not bad.
Yep, it's a whole, like, functional...
Did you catch that reference?
What?
Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
No. Are you saying it, like, in the same vein of how the character says it? Yeah, it's not doing it for me.
Use your head. Not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
For some reason, I'm thinking of Toy Story 2.
No.
Yeah, I'm way off. What were you going for?
It was when Hercules was fighting the centaur.
Oh!
And Phil was like,
use your head.
Use your head. He runs at the centaur, head down, bashes him. And then Phil's like, he's like, he goes, fine. He's like, yeah, way to go. He's like, then he tells Pegasus, he's like, that's not exactly what I had in mind, but not bad.
You're right. I mean,
I'm dropping so many quotes.
You are, and what's more?
That's one of your favorite movies.
My favorite Disney movie, and I'm ashamed that I didn't pick up on that. I guess I have to rewatch it. I haven't actually watched it in a while though, to be quite honest.
So like what Steve Rogers did was, not exactly what the drill sergeant had in mind, but it was not bad.
But it was good enough for him to win a trip next to good old looking Peggy.
And so. They keep going on it, and then the Colonel, played by Tommy Lee Jones,
one
of the best actors ever.
Oh, he's great.
Let's be honest here.
I mean, his best role was Two-Face.
So,
in Batman, Batman Forever. Oh, come on.
I forgot what his name was in this movie, but he played in a movie with Nicolas Cage called Firebirds. I think it came out in the late 80s, early 90s.
Wow, okay, I haven't seen this.
It's really, really good.
Firebirds, okay.
Yeah.
Is it like a Top Gun sort of thing? Because I'm getting that vibe.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's where was I?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Lee Jones,
greatest actor of our generation. Well, it's not. I mean, we're not his
He's like
generation.
50 years older than us.
I know. That's why I had to recant what I said.
I don't know if he's 50 years older than me, because that would push him at almost 85 years.
I think he's in his mid-70s.
He's got to be.
Conservatively, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tommy Lee Jones's character, the Colonel, is watching Steve Rogers and like, what are you guys doing to me? Like, get this kid out of here. Like, I'm glad that you have your little experiment here, but he shouldn't be in my camp. And so eventually the doctors and all them will be like, yeah, this guy's good. We got to use him. So they give him the serum.
Wait, did we just skip over the grenade?
Oh, yeah.
You skipped over the grenade. I told you that I was waiting for that because that was one of my favorite scenes, and you just hop right over it.
All right.
Like it's a little puddle of mud. You're like, you know what? We're not even going to talk about that.
We're going to press the rewind button. And go.
Grenade. There was a grenade, and see, the thing is, nobody knew that it was a fake one. But Steve Rogers, though, being of true heart and sound mind, being true patriotic, saving the others, the detriment of his own self, he decides to fall on the grenade to save everybody else. And then when it doesn't go off, he's like, wait a minute, I'm not dead. No one's dead. And that's when it clicks that, well, it was more of a drill than anything, and Steve definitely passed that with flying colors, and that sort of cemented him like he is a true American hero. He just doesn't happen to have, again, the physical qualities or the body type or the strong enough heart.
He has a strong enough heart. It's just everything else.
Wait, does he have a heart condition?
Not that I know of.
No? Okay. For some reason I thought that he did. But anyway, I
think he's just tiny.
Yeah, he's just tiny. So that again, like I said, just sort of cements that he is the right choice for this.
He's the real deal.
This revolutionary super serum. So anyway, yes.
Tony
grenade.
So Howard Stark is there. You have this other doctor who creates this serum. You happen to have a spy for Hydra.
Dun dun dun.
There. So they give Steve Rogers he steps in, tiny, wimpy, skinny little thing, and comes out all,
macho and buff.
6-pack, big old pecs.
Just gleaming.
Yeah, like all of a sudden he's like...
Is that sweat? Is that from like the transformation process? What is that?
Who has no...
I don't know, but he was looking like a fine specimen of the human race, I must say. It's this way.
Gosh. So it's pretty interesting. There's a funny scene after he gets out and he's shirtless. Like, Peggy looks at him and is like, "Oh, you look very good." And then she tries to put her hand up to touch his peck, and
she sort of like loses it a little bit.
It's kind of funny. So everything goes good there, and then kind of keep moving forward here because we're already at about almost 35 minutes.
Dang, we are. Yeah, that's
so. One of the things that happened is that
they find the spy. But someone dies, right?
The spy dies.
Well, I mean, but doesn't he?
Nope, the spy dies.
Yeah, but how he gets found out? Isn't there some incendiary device that kills like the doctor that was nice to Steve Rogers or something like that, right?
The spy shoots him twice.
Yeah, the spy.
That's about it.
Yep. And so then Chris Evans chases him down. He's like, "Whoa, I got like this brand new body, pretty much." So he starts running at abnormal
himself
speed.
And he's like, "This must be how Tobey Maguire felt."
Exactly. Minus the glasses.
Oh, Tobey Maguire, I get it now.
He spoke just like that too.
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn, right?
I think so.
He said he was from Brooklyn.
Different borough.
Yeah, it's Brooklyn.
Brooklyn,
no. I don't even know what we're talking about.
Manhattan. Thin crust.
So what we're saying is he stops the spy. Everything keeps moving along. And then the thing that kind of happens with...
Can we just mention how he was able to get the spy out of that submarine little boat that was going under? Like, he dove in. Remember? He latched onto the fin. Right?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It was?
That was superhuman. Outside of that grenade scene, this scene where he was able to retrieve the spy underwater. I don't know about you. Okay, here's a little side tangent here. Whenever there's like a underwater scene where a character is like holding their breath, I like inadvertently do that too to see if I could actually survive, or if, of course, it's different because like I'm holding my breath in air and your body reacts differently if you're holding your breath underwater, of course. But yeah, for some reason it just happens. Like I don't try to do it, it just does. Like I just catch myself holding my breath. I'm like, well, that's not safe. Hopefully this movie's not fully underwater. I'd be passed out right now. I don't know if that happens to you, or if you try to do that, it's like, oh, like that one scene in Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise holding his breath, trying to get that ID card in so he can. Yeah, that was a rough one because that was like 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know. I failed.
I don't know what just happened.
Just holding your breath.
Okay, this is turning in way too much. Okay.
So anyway, keeping things moving along here.
So Cap essentially becomes like a guinea pig and a mascot for the country, and they're essentially selling stocks and bonds.
Pretty much
to people. So
puts on a dog and pony show. He gets a nice little non-combat uniform or costume, as it were.
Yeah, pretty much was a costume. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
it was a costume, and so eventually he's doing that, and that's just like a little montage. Eventually, he ends up out in the fields, and he's talking to some of the troops, and they're like, "No, bring the girls back. You're boring." And so
the USO.
He feels very like, man, this is not what I signed up for, and so he finds out there's a whole bunch of soldiers being held by Hydra. So he runs it. He essentially takes a jeep.
It's like a covert op. Just him.
Just him goes.
One person. That's all it needs.
Simple to explain it this way. Kicks butt, takes names.
Whew. You can say that again.
He meets Red Hood for the first time.
Red Skull.
Scud.
Red
Skull.
Scud bucket.
Yeah. And so it was interesting. It was kind of freaky when Cap punches him for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like his eye just.
I know.
And then I was like, "Ooh, God, that had to hurt." And then it's revealed that he pulls off his mask. Oh, what up?
I know. He took his face off.
And then it was like all red.
Nick Cage reference there.
Which one?
His face off.
Oh yeah.
The face off. That's another good movie. And
then, so then it's like, oh my gosh, your skull is red. That must be where you get the name. It kind of made sense,
right?
Now.
I mean, doesn't leave much to the imagination.
No, it's pretty much like, whoa, if you took the skin off, it would be a red face.
It would be red, yeah.
Because it's blood.
And there's a skull, so red skull.
blood.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just his skull is red.
Yeah, exactly. Like
there's no blood. It's just red.
It's red. Yeah,
that's weird.
It is very weird.
Not normal.
No, I mean it's not maroon. It's not lilac. It's red.
Yeah, I mean it could be green or yellow or.
Right. You never know. You never know with those people.
All right. So after that, not Tony.
Howard.
No, not Howard.
Peggy.
No, the
Two-Face?
The Colonel is kind of like
Two-Face.
digging into Peggy, like, hey, like, he's dead. He's like, and this is kind of like all your fault.
Oh,
you
right, yeah.
All this stuff, blah 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 blah.
Yep. All the time and effort and money that we put into this.
Yeah, and so
gone up in flames.
Then all of a sudden, Steve Rogers shows up. He has this huge line of other people. He has some Hydra tanks and all that. And then he, everybody's like, yeah, at the camp, like, you did it. And then the Colonel confronts him. And it's like, uh-oh. Which is still interesting to me, because it doesn't happen yet. Okay. Eventually, when you get to Civil War, this happens. But right now, Captain America still has a sense of respect for authority when the authority is right in front of him.
Right.
So he, even though it's like, dude, Captain, you're the strongest guy in your area.
You can take anyone.
Right, like nobody's gonna touch you.
Nope.
Here's the thing, though. Tommy Lee Jones goes up to him, and he's still like, I'm ready to take any disciplinary action.
It's the hierarchy thing, He still respects that.
So that happens, and it turns out really well. He's kind of put in charge of a few more operations. And then eventually what happens is they have to get a hold of Red Skull because he...
Got it right this time.
He's taking over a lot of different areas, so they covert mission into essentially this train, if you want to call it that. Well, it was a train.
Yeah, it in fact was a train.
Sorry about that, folks.
Whew.
Been a long one.
That was a good yawn, and I'm surprised I didn't catch it because yawns are contagious. If you did, for those of you watching,
yeah,
mission accomplished.
So here's one of the things, and so like on the train, they're all fighting, shooting, and whatever. Bucky is there.
Bucky Barnes
shooting and trying to help Cap.
Yep.
And then,
doing a good job, I might add.
I think Cap threw his shield at Bucky, and Bucky caught the shield, and then somebody shot him.
Which then, with the ricochet, the recoil,
it shot him out of the train, and so he's holding on for dear life, and Captain's trying to like, come, give me your hand, and then Bucky falls into the abyss that is off that train.
Yeah.
It was like on a cliff.
Austria or something, to his apparent doom.
So everyone was like, oh no. So.
Yeah. Losing his best friend in the heat of battle. Captain America then, decides to dispatch the rest.
So he eventually meets Red Skull. They duke it out a little bit, fight a little bit. Eventually he wins. I mean, that's kind of the whole point.
Yep.
So they're fighting. He's chasing them. Eventually the Colonel and Peggy, show up in Red Skull's, car. They chase the plane down as much as they can and do what they can. Eventually what kind of happens is he has the plane that Red Skull is in, and all these bombs that were used with the Tesseract power that could wipe out entire cities with just one shot. And each one had a specific city labeled. Like one of them was Chicago, one was New York, one was Berlin, Moscow, all these places. And so Steve Rogers kind of realizes, holy cow, like, I've got to dump this somewhere where this is not gonna, because it's not just like taking it and dumping it in the middle of like the middle of a field in like Oklahoma or Kentucky.
Like maybe dig it 6 feet under. Oh, it'll be good.
Yeah, it's like you're in the air. So
where do you go?
And you can't trust anybody with this,
right?
And so what he decides to do is he's flying
on a suicide mission. Literally,
was he going? Did he end up going north?
North. Yeah, he went north.
Okay, he went north. For some reason, I was like, I don't know
Yeah, it was north. It was like, yeah, getting towards those glaciers.
So he ends up flying out that way, and then he's talking to Peggy, over the intercom thing, and
unrequited love, and
all that stuff. And then, hey, save me a dance. We'll meet up for that dance.
That got my heart. I was like, oof. That was good last parting words.
And so, Captain America dives it into like this ice cap.
Yep.
And essentially the ship kind of just the plane stays there.
Right.
And then it fast forward. So essentially in the beginning of the movie, they see this, what happened to have been Captain America's plane that he was flying. And
it's right in the full circle. That was a really good aspect that they brought back. Yeah.
And then what happens is Captain America wakes up and he's in, a hospital room that of 1943 or 1944, depending on when he went down. And they're playing a baseball game, and I forgot which game it was, but essentially Steve Rogers, like one of the nurses, comes in and has like a very 1950s, 1943 look about her and all that stuff. And Steve Rogers is like, "Where am I? What's going on?" And she's like, "Oh, you're in a hospital." And he's like, "Nope, I forgot what the exact line was, but he's like, I was at this baseball game." And that was like, however long ago.
Right.
And it sounds like it's happening right now.
Yep, he's getting really suspicious really quickly. He wants answers.
Yeah, and so he kind of freaks out. Some guards show up. Obviously, he knocks them through a wall.
Oh, yeah. Without trying.
And then he runs through Times Square, and it's like, oh my gosh, what is all this? What's happening? What happened?
LED lights? What is this?
And then Nick Fury shows up, and he's like, "Hey, Cap, I got something to tell you." It's like, "Oh, what? You've been asleep for 70 years. And Captain America's like, kind of dumbfounded, and he's like, "I had a date." Yep. And so that was kind of like, oh, that sucks.
A huge letdown for him, but again, I really liked that ending. That was cool how they then set it up for the next movie.
Thoughts about the movie? Because I kind of just did a whole breakdown.
No, it was good. It was a very good, thorough breakdown. You did skip the grenade part, so I'm glad that I threw my 2 cents in there.
Thank goodness we got that
right?
covered.
I know. I feel so much more at ease. Thought I did my fair share. But
well, it was important because that solidified the fact that Steve Rogers was...
It did. One of my favorite scenes. Yeah. But yeah, thoughts about the movie. I think when they were building the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, there were parts of the movie that sort of made me think that they rushed things.
Yep.
That maybe they didn't really have a good flushed out process, or maybe just, like the CGI wasn't quite there and they, cut corners a little bit. But overall, it was a good movie, and it was that origin story of one of the greatest, Marvel heroes ever.
Yep.
Really enjoyed it. I did like the casting with everyone, even though I think Chris Evans is better as Johnny Storm. He was a great cast for Captain America. And again, when we do talk about like origin stories of Marvel superheroes, I would say that this one is not in my top ones compared to others that we'll discuss later on. Of course, it doesn't come close to Iron Man, because that's like the epitome of what an origin story would be for the Marvel superheroes. I still really liked Captain America. It was good. I loved the soundtrack. It was very uplifting, very patriotic. And again, the way they tied up the movie, but yet made it available for us to think, well, there's definitely going to be more stories that Captain America is going to be a part of. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, I think the movie was very good. I liked the time period piece of it.
Yes.
It was very good. There were a few times where it's like all the Hydra people had like some of the best technology, like to the point where it's not just having the best technology. It looks like their styling of even their stuff looked very looks a little too modern.
It was too modern or even alien for that time. Yeah. Time period. It's like, whoa, where did they come up with that?
And I get it, Hydra had the technology, but it wasn't a question of having the technology. It was a question of like the inside of your ship looks very modernized. Almost.
Right.
So nothing to nitpick about. I thought it was a very great movie. I don't know if I'd put it. It'd be middle rank for me.
I would agree. But out of 10, what would you give it?
8. I think a solid 8.
Yeah, I would agree. I would give it an 8.
All right, you guys. I think that is going to wrap up Captain America.
Yes, I think we did a good job.
Greg, can you let our fans know and subscribers know where they can follow us?
Yes.
Or potential fans?
Yes, of course. If you like what you're hearing, love what you're seeing, make sure to follow us on all of the social media accounts. Facebook, My Disney Addiction Podcast. Twitter, our handle is @MyDisneyAddicts. And then for Instagram, it is my_Disney_Addiction_podcast. For those of you watching on YouTube, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Please let us know how you rank Captain America, not only in the Captain America storyline and the movies, but the entirety of the 10 years of the Avengers movies, if you will, in the comment section below. You can find all of our links to our social media in the comment or in the description below. Make sure to also subscribe so you can get notified of all new postings on our YouTube channel. And for those of you listening on Spotify, iTunes, other podcast platforms of your choice, make sure to write us a review and give us those 5 stars. That would help us out greatly.
Yep, definitely. And then, guys, like I said, we're going to create a kind of like food cooking review thing.
I cannot wait.
We're also going to be having a giveaway. So when you share the picture of what we are going to give away.
Picture's going to be right here.
Or you share our YouTube video link or whatever. And each share, you have to tag somebody in that. It has to be somebody different each time.
Yep.
Because the more people you invite, the more times you'll be entered in for that.
Yep, exactly. So it's not like a one entry for one person. It's one entry for every post that you tag a new friend or family member in.
Yeah. So like if you have like 30 people, if you put all your friends on the tag list, well, that's not going to count. We want to see more individuals because obviously the more individual things that we have, the better it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's that, and then we are going to set up a Patreon account. Still working on some of the smaller details, but I think we're coming close to wrapping it up.
I'd say so. Yeah, we can make that live very, very soon. So look out for that. We'll also let you know where to find that, hopefully in the next episode.
So we're good to go. And Greg, is there any other thing that anything else that we need to mention? Or are we good?
America.
We're good to go. It was a pleasure talking about this and hanging out with you guys. We will talk to you guys soon. Once again, I am your number one ghost host.
And I am your Disney detective. Thank you so much for coming to your one place to get your Disney fix.